Thanks for tuning in, YouTubes. We're up in the guts of the Little Snowy Mountains. Say what's up, dudes.
What's up, Dad?
Me and the boys are going to be out on a 5 to 6 day adventure in the Big and Little Snowy Mountains. We just got camp kind of set up. I appreciate you guys tuning in yet again for hopefully an awesome video. Yet again, it's been extremely wet. We're not going to let that stop us. We got back in a ways and we ended up not actually utilizing the camp that we originally wanted to, but we are going to have a couple of fun activities for you guys. As always, a little bit of bushcraft, and we have an interesting menu. It's hard to get creative every time I do this. There's only so many great things you can eat, but we're gonna try and do some barbecuing out here, and we're gonna do some smoking of meat, kind of bushcraft style. Appreciate you guys watching. We'll keep you up to speed on how things are going. We have arrived. This is going to be camp, home base area here, kind of a little opening in the vast wilderness here. We saw some elk on the way in. Also saw a couple of deer as we pulled up. This is definitely black bear country, so I wanted to have a little bit of room around us to be able to see anything coming from a bit of a distance. So we're going to get camp set up. We'll do a time lapse of getting camp set up, and we're going to start exploring and figuring out what our surroundings have in store for us here. I think there's a little bit of a stream not terribly far away, and we'll see if we can maybe find some fish. Stay tuned. We have camp up for the most part. We got the tarp up and in place. We're not going to put the bed together just yet in the back. We're going to save a little room just to be able to move around in the back. And we got a bunch of the supplies up over here. Next thing we need to do is get some firewood. I'd mentioned it's super wet out here. We have some that whoever was out here last left for us. That's a start. But we need to go harvest some wood. Let's get on that. And we'll talk a little bit about, we've hit the high notes before with harvesting wood, but kind of show you some of the do's and some of the don'ts when we're looking for good wood. Come on, dudes. I got to really have my head on a swivel out here. There's all sorts of predators out in this area, to include mountain lions, black bear. No grizzly out here, but pretty good amount of black bear out here. If we make enough noise and leave our scent, I have a feeling they're not going to want to bother with us. But here's kind of an example of bad wood. This wood that's laying down on the ground right here is going to be super wet and saturated since it's been raining a ton out here. So we need to stay away from this. I'm waiting for you. Come on, dude. Something that's going to be a little bit better for us. Let's take a look at it. So something like this. You can see these branches. This is clearly dead, but it's up off the ground a bit. So we'd want to snap these branches off as we go around and collect those versus all this fallen stuff right here. So we're gonna start getting some wood together. I think we'll be in this camp spot for probably about 2 days. And I think the boys' mama's gonna come join us up here. So we're gonna get some wood going, and we'll start getting these kids fed and get some food rolling over the coals.
Daddy? That's cotton, Daddy.
It's the wind. Boys got a snack, and we got a little stock of firewood that's enough for now. We had found some cut wood back there. It's pretty thick and wet, but we can dry that out. So the next thing I need to do is find some dry tinder and some dry kindling to get this thing going. Well, we got an apple juice down. It's all right, I'll get you another one. So that's difficult up here being that everything's wet. Normally I'd look for dead grass. I'm not gonna find much dead grass up here just to create my tinder bundle. If you've watched the videos in the past, you know I call it a rat's nest. I got plenty to make the basics of it out here. I might have to improvise a little bit, but we're gonna look for some dry, dead material. These pine needles here look pretty good. Oh yeah, this will be a great source of fuel for us there. Not quite as good as our dead grass. And then I need some fresh sap. Let's see if this tree is too dead to be producing right now. No go there. So any deficiency on a tree like something like this, that's where we're gonna see sap. That's just been dead for too long. These stumps are a great source of dried sap material. to really get that fire rolling. Let's see if we can find some on this guy. Not as much with him, but I'm gonna steal some of that out of one of these stumps out here where people are cutting wood. And not a fire starter per se, but it's really gonna help the fire to take off. So I want to gather the things that I need. I found some dry kindling already. One of the keys we're looking for when we're looking for kindling, if the branch snaps when you just twist it, that's what you're looking for. That's dry enough. And if it does not, let's find one that's a bad example. Like this here. That's just going to bend. Not even close to dry enough. Kind of obvious it's alive, so probably not a good thing to be utilized. So we'll grab some more of this stuff. I'll get the fire bundle ready. We'll get you guys back on camera and we'll get this baby rolling. So I'm gonna use this moss we're seeing growing on the branches here, these dead branches, as a replacement for my dead grass. So I ripped off a bundle of it and I'm gonna go find my sap, which this tree is producing a ton. It's just kind of dried out at this point. So that's what we're looking for. I'm gonna take this and just rub the hell out of it and get some of this wet sap. I found a spot here, this tree's all marred up. Then I'm gonna take some of that sap right there. So we'll get our bundle in there and just start wiping it, and we're gonna get anything that is still kind of wet. Not gonna be a ton, but we don't need a lot. Okay, there we go. That's a good little patch. All right, now that feels like basically it's covered in nasty glue, which is what we're looking for. So I think we're gonna get success with that. Okay, let's give it a shot. Here's our fire starting materials. So we have our moss with all of the sap on it. I have some just basic moss that's not got any sap. I'm gonna really grind that down into almost like a fine powder. The driest kindling right here, a little bit spilled out there, a little bit larger size of kindling, and then I have some other larger sticks off camera that I'm just gonna set on there. So let's get it going. Look out, little dude, look out, starting a fire. Little fire starter kit I keep with me just has some basics like a flint, some paracord, a little bit of cotton, some cotton saturated in Vaseline. Nice little pack to start fire. So let's grind this down into that powder. And I just use a big piece of bark to hold everything for me, so I'm not losing that ember when I make it. I got you, buddy, hold on. Just about done. All you gotta do is catch it for me. And we'll put this piece kind of next to it to help catch that, and that's the one that's got the, we want the good side in there. The good sappy stuff right there. We'll see how this works. I don't know. I'm slightly apprehensive that this will work. Well, it's smoking. A little wet. Almost. Just got to catch that sap and we're going to be off to the races. There we go. If you don't have all of your fire making materials in place as you're starting, you're gonna get that ember, and I promise you'll lose it if you're scrambling to try and find your build materials. So have everything laid out and ready to go before you get to this point. we go. Success. Delish. So I'm gonna get another fire going, and I'm gonna try my hand at a couple different cooking options. We're kind of spoiled with the campsite we have. It has a fire pit. I'd actually like to have less than more. It's just a little more challenging. The boys are in the back of the truck, so I have a moment of peace. But I'm gonna collect a few materials to make through 2 different options to be able to cook over a campfire in kind of a unique way. Something I need to do that, I've already collected one of. I just found another one here. So yet another down tree. We're looking for a forked stick like this that's got some girth to it and a little bit longer. So I'm gonna grab that. Need 2 of those. 3 of them would be perfect. So we'll start with 2 and we'll see what happens from there. We'll probably have at least, like I'd say 2 nights here, 3 meals here, and we're gonna move on to another site. That'll be an entirely different video. And stay tuned for the gourmet meal on this one. Is going to be a fun one. I think it's going to work out well. You can't really ruin it, but we're going to be eating good. This will be fire pit number 2. So we'll get this first cooking method up with our Y sticks. How's the frame look? I think you'll be able to see now. Okay, let's do it.
Dad,
What's up, kid?
there's nothing down. Look.
All right, we'll get to him in a minute. So we got our 2 sticks, somewhat sharpened down at the end. We got, man. We got.
Can I help?
Let's go. Thank you. And we're gonna pound them down into the ground, like so. Just put a stick across the center beam, and then get a nice hefty stick and smack from the top. I'm not sure if you can see this. I'm sorry if you can't. Oh, we might not be. First things first, make sure you're not on a rock. Okay, there we go. I think that'll work. Yep, much better. The ground's wet enough here that I can actually just drive this thing straight down by hand pretty damn far, and that's pretty sturdy. I think you're seeing what I'm doing. Yep, I'm good. I'm in frame here. So there's one, and then we'll just go straight across with the other. Somewhere like that. The drive in actually wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be for how wet it is out here. All right, we're going to have to go a little deeper with this guy. All right, and then the goal is going to be probably not this big of a stick, but you just get one cleaned up. Yeah, it might not fit. And then straight across, and you can either use paracord or another stick that has a kind of a branch offset that you can actually hook and hang over your fire. So that's one way to do it. We'll get a good fire going on this side here. Not like I don't have enough to do. Why not have 2 fires and 2 kids to keep an eye on? And we'll have some coffee brew on this side for us. To round things out now with this setup, I'm going to take this guy here and lop it off right about there. And what we do is use this to hook over the top right there. And then I'll just cut a small notch down here on the bottom to hook a kettle to. So then I completely take paracord or anything else out of the equation, so you're not having your paracord burn out on you. It'll take a second to get to a boil, but that's what we're looking for. I didn't have that's like the best I could do as far as my little kettles I have available. But once that fire gets going, that thing should heat right up. And as long as no one kicks it, I think we'll be good to go.
Daddy,
What's up?
what's that?
You can do it. Make it over. We're off on a hike, and we found a spot where the Forest Service, for some reason, cleared a path through here up towards the Forest Service road. And they're wanting to continue. How far are we going?
So far.
We'll see. We're gonna hopefully run across one of the springs out here. I know there's a bunch, and according to Onyx, I'm not far from one.
Dad,
Interesting Montana fact for the day.
Daddy.
Montana has over 150 nuclear missile silos, and I think it'd be like the 10th most nuclear armed country or something. I forget the stat on that one, but it is certainly impressive. Thanks, buddy. We are about smack dab in the middle of where they keep a lot of those silos, just on the other side of the mountain range that way.
So
There is a ton of silos over there. As you're driving through the countryside, you'll drive by this barbed wire structure that's tiny, that deep down inside the guts of it has Minutemen silos. Fun Montana fact of the day. We're back from our little hike. The boys are gonna take a little quick nap, but I gave up on fire 2. We'll just stick with this one. It's a better example. I can get this fire stoked a lot better. That was just a pain in the butt to try, but here you see the Y sticks in action. So obviously 1, 2, and then this one with that, just that off branch on it, and then a notch there that just holds our kettle on, and we'll bring that water to a pretty rolling boil pretty quick and have a nice refreshing cup of coffee. And I think I'm just gonna kick back for a minute. I think we got camp pretty well established. The kids are getting a little wore out. We've kind of seen our surroundings, so to say. It's pretty thick in here though. I'm not gonna take them too far back in there. I think we're gonna move down the road tomorrow to another location that's a little more established. But we really don't have anything set in stone. We're out here for the next six days just getting to enjoy this beautiful, beautiful country. The firewood part is never ending. I'm gonna turn this into somewhat manageable firewood. Nice, we did it. That was a lot of work for what small amount we had there, but that'll keep us going. We threw all the scrap shit on top to not create such a mess out here. Maddox, did you help?
Yeah.
Give me 5, good job.
Go!
Nice, go watch your show. Are you enjoying yourself? Show them your face from when you smacked your eye. Let me see. It's getting better. No injuries yet. That will change in about 20 minutes. Probably just a clever marketing ploy, and I'm eating dye, but this stuff looked delicious, so we're gonna try it out. Loot and Booty barbecue, Jolly Roger black jalapeno and garlic rub. It looks questionable, but I bet it's gonna be delicious on a ribeye. The crust turned out nice. Let's see what we got inside. Got a little hectic there, but that feels rare to maybe medium rare. If you like your steak well done, just go ahead and hop right in the fire with it. Oh no, yeah, we might be a little deep more done than I'd like. There's some pink in there. No, we're all right. Yep, that'll fly. I'm gonna gulf this thing down, and I'm gonna make sure these 2 are tucked in. And I think I have one more little project we're gonna do today, but you guys can F off for the moment because I'm eating this. It's suspiciously quiet over here. I wonder.
A rainbow of critters that want to eat us.
But he's so cute. Look at this face.
Sea beast, put them out.
You and I have a different idea of cute.
They should have napped about 4 hours ago, but Mom's not here. She'll see this eventually though. As I sit here waiting for this beautiful steak to finish, let's chat a little bit about today's sponsor. Today's sponsor is going to be Trinity Tactical Training and Consulting. So they do kind of a plethora of different things. It just kind of depends what you're looking for, but in a nutshell, what they're looking to do is consult about any type of tactical training and leadership. I've had the opportunity to work firsthand with the owner of this company. He's a great dude and a very, very seasoned dude. So if anybody watching this is any part of or is part of any type of tactical team or works in law enforcement and you're looking for any type of training, and I mean any type of training, this is your guy. I'm gonna toss his link in the website, or his website link in the comments, and I'll also toss his webpage up here so you guys can see it. So that is Trinity Tactical Training and Consulting. You can also find him on Instagram. I just pulled the steak off. I'm letting it rest for a second. While we're doing that, let's do a quick pocket dump. Basic stuff that I carry on me while we're sitting here in camp, or if we're gonna venture out, just out of sight, something I'll carry with me. So I always have a light, something simple. This is not expensive like it looks. 90 bucks, Amazon. Link in the description. Basic bitch pocket knife, because if I buy an expensive one and bring it out here, I will lose it. This works just fine. I have it on me right now. I don't always have it on me. That being said, I just got done working with the firewood, so I got a hatchet on me. Link in the description on that bad boy. And yes, we're in bear country, so keep the bear spray close by. And what else we got? Truck keys, wallet, and I carry one more thing that we're not going to talk about because YouTube will not enjoy that and it'll destroy the views on the video. But I carry another thing out here since I have 2 little kids, because a bear is going to defend its little cubs, and I certainly am going to defend mine as well, and I don't trust bear spray necessarily. So yeah, I got one more thing on me, but use your imagination. It's time to eat some steak. So the last project before I call it a night is going to be something called a feather stick. Gave it a couple tries today. I'm not great at it yet, but being that the wood is so wet, I felt like this would probably be a good opportunity to try and give it a go and show you guys. So you take your stick that is kind of saturated and wet on the exterior, but inside of it, it should be somewhat dry. So if it's been laying on the ground, probably not a great one to choose. But even though it's been raining a ton, those sticks still up on the trees are still getting doused in that rain, but it's not soaking them like they do when they hit the ground. They just get really, really saturated on the ground. So if we can get rid of that exterior coating of the bark and work our way into the stick, we're going to reach that dry material. So here's kind of an example of what I'm talking about that I did with my knife. So you're just peeling it back bit by bit and rolling it back and over, back and over, back and over. So this isn't going to be something that'd be amazing for fire starter necessarily, but this is going to burn a lot more effectively than this would right here if you're in that fire starting process. So one versus the other is going to help get that fire kind of rolling and established so we can start drying this stuff out to keep our fire moving. So it's a simple process. This knife kind of sucks for it. I got a bigger one I should be using, but you just slowly start chopping away at it, and as you get deeper in there, you're having to push a little bit harder, and you don't want to go much deeper than about halfway through the stick, or you're just going to snap the thing. So you're just kind of dragging it as you go and pushing it back. And there'll be times where small chunks just kind of fall off, and I'm about reached kind of the maximum bit ability I have with this one. But you can just take your knife to it, and that's one way to do it. It's inherently dangerous anytime you're running a knife like that, and you want to make sure you're not running it down towards your legs, especially in the event that you do slip. You don't want to stab yourself in the leg out here. There's another way you can do it that kind of takes that danger out of it, and that's only if you have a hatchet with you. It's something you can do. So how that would look would be something like this. So I happen to have a nice big stump that is perfect for this, and what I want to do is just bury that hatchet into this stump really good. So now I don't have one of my hands being preoccupied with the blade. The stump and the hatchet are going to do all the work for me as I just pull back. So I got another stick we can start on here. It's a little bit long. Let's do this end. And all I'm going to do is just pull straight. I'm going to be deep enough in there. There we go. Pull straight back, and we'll use this thin end. And let the hatchet do the work for me. You gotta get rid of that top layer to kind of get it established. All right. Gotta find that sweet spot. There it is. And then just continue to work back and forth, and you're going to start seeing those results fairly quickly. So this would take some more time to do. I'd want to get a nice big section of that done, and I'd want these to be a little longer even. This is the first time I've tried it with a hatchet. Using a knife, kind of the way to go. It's a little more natural. But if you have a large axe, I think it'd probably work a little bit better. Or if you just got just maybe the tip of this sunk in, something like that, a little bit better, to where you got a little more blade to work with. You know, it's something I'm going to play with, though. It's always nice to learn new things. So you get rid of that top layer. And once you've kind of gotten rid of that top layer, just keep dragging and working. That's a lot better. Yeah, that angle certainly helped a lot there. So once again, it's called a feather stick, and I think the name is kind of obvious why that is. It starts to look like a feather the longer you go, but something like this is really going to catch because you're getting down into that dry wood and exposing that dry wood if you're out here in this nasty wet stuff. So just after a couple of minutes of working on it, that's what we're getting to there. So that might be something we give a try when we start our fire out tomorrow, and maybe compare a fire stick versus just a regular stick. See what it looks like. But that's going to be it for the night. I'm going to sign off, go get the two boys in their jammies, and toss on some Netflix and pass out. We'll see you guys bright and early in the morning for breakfast. One more thing before we sign off for the night. It's always important to prep for the next day before you get to bed. So I put away a ton of our camping gear. And one other thing I like to do is prepare tomorrow's fire tinder in the event that my fire does go out or gets rained out. Everything is saturated. We got it started today, but I'm gonna make it super easy for tomorrow. So one thing I did is I just grabbed a huge piece of bark, and I grabbed a ton of dead grass that is super wet, and I'm just drying it out next to the fire right now. And I'm gonna take that along with some of our pine needles and then a chunk of this dead tree that has a shit ton of sap attached to it, and that thing's just gonna smolder for me. And then I also have under the truck a bundle with some more of that bark covering up my pieces of tinder. So that'll be enough to get the fire started tomorrow. And I think I'll probably stick some of our pile of firewood under there as well. But that is officially it. Oh, also, I left the window open in the topper, and our sleeping bags got rained out. So that's why you keep spares. I got the boys warm inside because I happen to have spare sleeping bags in there as I'm drying these ones out. See you in the morning. Well, day 2 begins now. Slept pretty good. The boys were a little restless. Ended up with feet in my face more than once in there. But for the most part, not a long night. Fire's still smoldering a little bit. I'm gonna get the fire going again this morning. I think we're just gonna get another rep of flinting it. I'm probably could get it to take, but I went through all that work of getting everything ready last night, so may as well use it. Feel slightly dehydrated. I definitely didn't drink enough water yesterday, so to fix that, nice hot cup of coffee is my solution. I'm sure that's going to help. Once you get that first cup of coffee down in the morning, you generally start to feel a little better. So I do think we will pull camp down and move down the road for out here trying to adventure and see the country. It doesn't make much sense to stay in the same spot. The boys are already getting a little homesick. asking for their mama. So we'll see. I knew it'd be a challenge to be out on the road with them for 6 days, so I got to keep it interesting for them. We packed it up and left campsite 1. I think we're just gonna cruise deeper back in here on the Forest Service road. There is a town on the other side of the mountains. If we can make it through on this road, I may get us a hotel room for the night. I might have bitten off a little more than I could chew with these 2 little fellas. They're a little grumpy and a little homesick, so a hotel stay might keep our trip alive. But we're gonna poke through and kind of explore for the day and see what's out here and what's worth seeing, and we'll report back wherever we land for the evening. No, not the top. Hang on, boys. Some wildlife. All cows right on state land too. I will be back for you later. Good eye, Knox. Good job. Came out of the mountains and there's this tiny little town just right at the base of it. Looks like Forest Grove. There's a post office, it looks like, it's functional, and there was a burned out old looking, I guess not burned out, dilapidated old looking church with a newer church behind it. But this town is like literally 3 houses. Never heard of Forest Grove, but there's plenty of little spots like this in Montana. We made it to Lewiston, Montana. Small town in about the middle of the state. When I say small, it's the biggest one in the area, but we got a hotel room for the night. We're gonna reset and hit the bowling alley. What you got?
A few.
Nice. Did a little reset in the hotel, and then we're gonna hit the road again tomorrow, get back in the mountains?
Yeah.
Should we go bowling tonight?
Well, we're not sleeping. We're
Yeah?
gonna hang out. We're gonna go to a bowl-ups.
We're going bowling after this. Happened to be a bowling alley right across the street from our hotel. Oh. There you go, ready? Wait. Now. All right, slow motion. Just an ass kicking. Still got it.